happens here. So if you're already watching, you are way ahead of everybody else. Got a few tech things to go through real quick. I'm going to go live on Facebook in just a minute. Here we go. Facebook is going up. And then now we've got live on YouTube. So I think we're set.
All right.
Hi,
There we
Elijah.
go. Hi, Travis. Hi, everyone.
All right. Hey, everybody. It's good to see you tonight. Good to see you. I don't actually see you, but we know that there are some of you out there, which is really, really cool. This world of internet brings us all together. So in case you guys don't know me, if you're just tuning in for the first time to one of these, maybe you just were out there on the internet and this just popped up. My name's Travis. I'm one of the pastors of Summit View Church. This is live from the living room. And on Tuesday nights, we're doing every other Tuesday night at this point. I'm bringing in my friends who go to our church.
Aww.
And sometimes we'll play music, sometimes we'll talk a lot, sometimes we'll do both. Tonight we'll probably do both. So I don't know, those of you that are out there that know Elijah, a lot of you may not know Elijah is a fantastic musician.
Well, thanks. Thanks for saying that.
So
very kind.
Yeah. So I'm just on Facebook right now. Looks like we've got 4 viewers on Facebook so far, which is great. 4 of you guys out there, that's awesome. We've got family here. Elijah's wife Melissa's on the couch. And just some things to expect tonight. We've had some good conversations over the last few weeks. Elijah actually drives past my house coming home from work, and so we were social distancing. He'd pull into my driveway and stand in the driveway and talk with you. Admire your new Jeep.
You know, it was the refreshing moment in my day. Because it was normally at the end of the week. It was Saturday, finishing up work, and so it was a highlight to come home and drive past.
Well, it's a highlight for me too. Hey Courtney, good to see you there on Facebook. And if you are on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to give us a shout out. I'm going to have this up in front of us the whole time until the battery dies, which could happen potentially. But we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to play some music. And so if you're there, if you're in your living room, put this on the TV, put it on your laptop and set it there in the living room and just hang out with us. You can do dishes and stick your headphones in or something. We're going to play some music tonight. We're going to play some worship songs. It'll be acoustic. And then we have a few thoughts to share. I'm going to open up the Bible. So anyway, I think we're finally ready. Had our little tech issue for a second there. We're good. I just wanted to check the audio. So you might hear myself in your living room. Put this on the TV. Put it on your laptop. Okay, we're good.
You sound great.
Awesome. So here's what we do. We put the chord charts right there.
Okay.
We look at ourselves here, which is kind of silly and weird. Let me pull up YouTube because that is a little bit easier. Like I said, guys, we're a little behind tonight. I had to create an internet thing that changed some stuff. Here we go. And good. All right.
I can see you right there.
I know, and I'm a little bit delayed too. It's like looking at yourself and you're like, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. Hi, Brian Edwards. See you there.
Where do you see the people?
These are people.
Okay.
Sometimes it means they join and then they leave because they just clicked on it and then they're off doing something else. So that's one of the beauties of social media. I don't know, for all of
this is great. We can multitask.
Yeah. Other people, they might be out mowing the lawn and be like, oh, I've got a notification that some of you went live.
Right.
Why don't we start with a song?
Let's do it.
Let's start with a song.
In no particular order.
Yeah.
What do you?
Something.
You know the list here.
I do. There's some good songs here tonight. How about Lord, I Need You? I've been kind of feeling this all week. We titled tonight, Cast All My Cares. And really what that is referring to is Elijah reminded me of a little kid's song from the 1980s that we both apparently were exposed to back then.
Yes.
And it's this little kid singing, I cast all my cares upon you.
And it's a great, simple song that, when we were singing it and we pulled it up on YouTube and it was Salty, the Singing Songbook. And it was a great memory because it's like even going back and forth to work or sometimes when things are anxious or even with our kids, we'll sing it. And I think, what a perfect song, what a perfect theme for what's going on in the world right now and in our lives right now.
Yeah.
So it was fun, and you'll probably see themes through some of the songs that we picked too, of just looking through how I think where our heart needs to be. Sometimes when it's not there, and we just are reminded by God's provision. When we get to those moments where I don't know, things seem hard, things seem long. Just say, God, it's through you. Be my strength right now. Be my song. Your love is deep. So you'll see those themes through tonight.
Yep. So I think one of the things that universally the whole world is experiencing, and I talk to a lot of Christians, a lot of people in the church, and there's a lot of uncertainty because it seems like one week we're all about this thing, another week we're all about that thing. I chose a graphic to promote tonight's thing on Facebook with just a pair of feet and then some direction arrows. Mm-hmm. And that kind of sums up my brain over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's next?
Which
next? Direction should I go? It's hard to know. Yeah. It's hard to know. And I could dive into all the different weighty issues that are like contrasting in my head, and
mm-hmm.
Some of them feel mutually exclusive, like I have to go both directions, but I can't go either one, or for whatever consequence or whatever.
Yeah.
Got the virus, and there's so many things.
There's a lot.
It's uncertainty, and I think for me that just means it's cares. There's cares,
mm-hmm.
and it's just stuff that weighs on my shoulders. It weighs on my body. Like I don't know about you, but stress goes to my body.
Yes. Absolutely. Me right here.
Yeah, mine's on this side for some reason. I don't know why, but
Yep.
It's this side. Like
Right.
my shoulders will tense up.
Right. Well, and it impacts sleep. I mean, that's one of the things that I've noticed too, is just waking up still exhausted. And I think, what is going on here? I've never had trouble sleeping.
Yeah.
And just waking up and having strange dreams, or just physically feeling kind of tapped out when I think about what life has looked like at different times over the past 4 months. There's that picture that I have in my mind sometimes of water, of an ocean, and like this life preserver. And like there are days where like the water is above us, the water is above me, and I'm looking like, God, I need a breath here in this one moment. What do I need? I need you.
Yeah.
In this moment when the weight of everything that we're feeling, the weight of lack of sleep, or just physical fatigue, emotional fatigue, all these things that weigh on us, what do I need right now for that next step? I need God.
Yeah.
I need you.
Yeah. Well, why don't we start with a song?
Okay.
Let's ask him.
We're doing this in C, right?
C. Yep. I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. When I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. And you're my stay. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness. Oh God, how I need you. We have undetermined endings.
We do.
Tonight.
That sounded perfect, though. At least we ended on the right note there.
Hey, Adam
That's
Fisher is here.
Hi, Adam Fisher.
And Caleb.
Hi, Caleb.
Hi, Caleb. He said Caleb is here.
Aw.
It's true. Well, those of you watching, we're just glad you guys are with us tonight. We're casting our cares on the Lord tonight. I have a verse,
Oh, share.
because it's a verse. So I was kind of thinking about that. We listened to that old YouTube, it was on YouTube, the old song from The Record from Salty when we were kids. And it completely ruined the song for me because of the
Yeah.
recording quality in the 1980s.
Right.
Anyway,
Well,
I'll
it's a
get
good
over
thing
it.
It's a good thing you don't remember music very well or
I
for
know.
very long. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
that's
Song's
a good
much
thing
better
there.
in my head. It's still in my head. But anyway, I've been thinking about this because as a pastor, I've been inundated for the last, what's it been, 14, 15 weeks since we've been shut down?
Yeah.
We thought shutting the church down for the first time in 36 years of the history of Some of You Church, not meeting on a Sunday morning in the building or, as a large gathering. We thought that was a huge deal. Thinking about reopening the building,
Right.
it's like an even huger deal.
Right.
Right, so I heard someone say this last week when it comes to like pastors and thinking about all the things that you're having to deal with everything from the politics of all of this with
Right.
the virus, and then all of a sudden we've got all the race stuff going on, and you're trying to simultaneously be compassionate and logical and try to prescribe action and correct people, and then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how do we open the building back up, and do we follow the CDC guidelines, or do we look at the Larimer County guidelines and then somehow average those with the state guidelines? And you're a healthcare professional, you know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, and it's interesting too because the fear and the anxiety of it all, I think, just skews our perspective on it so much because we can't remove ourselves from that emotion.
Yeah.
Of it. That emotion is very real, and everybody experiences that emotion differently. From, it's like I will push hard on that emotion because I don't want to go there and I don't want to feel that right now. To like this is shaping, even how I wake up in the morning and how I carry myself throughout the day. Anxiety, I think just stress, all that impacts us all so differently.
Yeah. Well, I heard someone say, related to pastors in this season, most pastors started out on a sprint, suddenly realized there's a marathon and had to change tactics. And now that it seems like the marathon is sort of winding out, we just got handed a bicycle. And we found out we're in a triathlon.
Oh,
Swimming is next.
Right.
Except we're exhausted because we thought it was a sprint.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, I've been thinking about this time. And, I, as a pastor, I have to think, okay, I want to shepherd the church well.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to remember there's a chief shepherd. And it doesn't all sit on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And so this actually hit me this morning as I was reading it, where in 1 Peter 5, Peter is exhorting pastors who are leading a church that is suffering, a church that's dispersed, a church that's experiencing persecution. He says, as a fellow elder, I exhort the elders among you, a witness of the sufferings of Christ, as well as a partaker in the glory that is going to be revealed. Shepherd the flock of God that is among you. Like, you have to do it. And he goes into, advising on how to do that. But then verse 4, when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the unfading crown of glory. That's a hope for me, not necessarily just because there's a crown of glory at the end of it, but because there's a chief shepherd. Yeah. That there's some things above my pay grade, and it's okay for me to not understand what path to take next. Because that's where I feel like I am a lot of these days. Yeah. I'm not really sure how to proceed. Yeah. I want to know what the right thing is. And I want to be able to proceed like I'm confident. I know what's right. But so many things are blurred right now. So you go forward, it talks about clothing yourself in humility, which is a huge first step. And we've been talking about that as pastors of the church for the last few weeks. So humble yourself. But here's the verse. Verse 7. He says, casting all your anxieties on him. That's the chief shepherd. There's one above my pay grade who gets all the stuff that's above my pay grade. Yep. And if they're causing anxiety in me, they're my cares, right? They're my worries. I'm supposed to give them to him. Cast them on him because he cares for me. Yeah. That's my verse for tonight.
It's a great verse. And even before this, we were talking about the stones of remembrance, that the Israelites would pile up.
Ebenezer stones.
Yeah.
Here I raise my Ebenezer.
Right. And like, why do you do this? We do this because we don't want to forget how God provided in that moment. And I'm like, man, these Israelites, they just crossed the Jordan River. The water just stood there and they walked across it. How can you forget that? And I think sometimes those experiences, they wane. We don't remember it. Even something so tangible as like the laws of physics stopping in that moment and me going across on dry ground and the water behind just piling up. And when I think about that story, and I think the Israelites, they didn't have a running start. In that moment when they were going across, it was when they took their step and put their foot in the water, that water stopped. And I think, God, give me strength for that step.
Because your foot's going to get wet.
My foot is going to get wet, and I don't even know what's going to happen after this. All I know is, God, we are your people. You are my God, and I know that you will provide, and I don't know how right now. And you know what? I think that can be a very scary thing. Or we just, I think, remind ourselves and we say, God, you're bigger than this. You created the flow of water. You created all of this, and you can stop it in this moment if you so desire for me to go across this. And I think through that, the Israelites had a story to tell on the other side that they wouldn't have had necessarily, had it never happened. Yeah. I think, okay, so what's the point of that? And I think the point of that, is, in summary, the summary report, is like God wanted the Israelites to be more like him. They wanted him to be, and even through the New Testament, like God wants us to be more like Christ. And so whatever that story is, whatever that path is that God leads us through, I think, God, you're shaping us. You're shaping us as a body. You're shaping us, as a big C church, to be more Christ-like. I think, God, help me to have that perspective, because in that moment, then I just, all right, moment for that next step. Just give me strength right now, God.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, when we set out to have a sprint, we're thinking in a few weeks we'll learn what God is making us into, and then we'll be done, and we'll move on.
Exactly.
It might take us a little longer to figure that out.
It might.
God's up to something.
Right. And it's give me the strength today.
Yeah.
Like, I will need the strength to make it, through the desert and through the wilderness there. But I don't know what's coming there. Right now, I need strength for this moment to cross this river, to cross this obstacle here. Give me that, because I know you provide. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, before we jump into another song, I was wondering, for those that don't know you, give just a little summary of who you are. I mean, I know you well, and I wanted you to come on here. one of the reasons that I've been wanting to do these live from my living rooms on Tuesday nights is for the church to see the church. You know, right now you can't even walk up to Elijah in the lobby of the church and say, "Hey, hi Elijah, who are you?" You know, we're all separate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, it's a little tough. We've organized into house churches and we all see, you know, one group of people, but not like the entire group. And it's impossible to know the entire group. But I love putting individual people just a little bit on display for the rest of the church, especially when they've encouraged me. And you've encouraged me so much over the years. And I appreciate your faith. I appreciate your family. I appreciate your heart. You're one of the people that truly cares about others. Particularly, I've seen you care about people who don't believe in God, who don't believe in Jesus, who don't love Jesus, even people who are antagonistic towards Jesus for whatever reason. And I've seen you care deeply for those people, time and time again. And I've appreciated that. And I just want the church to know about you a little bit, so they get a little more of your heart. And so when we all come back together, be like, "I watched that with Elijah." So anyway, give us a little synopsis on you.
Sure. Well, and thank you for that encouragement as well. And that is a mutual thing. I think that's one of the amazing things about our body is that we just, you know, we have a lot of different connections that we're not all connected in the same way. We don't know everybody's story, but you know, just want somebody to know our story. And so I appreciate that about you. So I'm Elijah Mullins. My beautiful wife, Melissa, is over there on the couch knitting.
She smiled at you.
Yeah, she did. We have been in Fort Collins and at Summit View since 2005. We have 4 kids. We have Emerson the Brave. We have Clara the Creative. We have Matilda the Dreamer, and Oliver the Adventurer.
He is. Absolutely.
They're our kids, and Oliver's 8, Matilda's 10, Clara's 12, and Emerson is almost 14. So, yeah, it's been great to be able to actually. Melissa and I moved out here for graduate school at CSU, and fell in love with the people in Colorado. We fell in love with our church body, and actually the young marrieds is kind of what drew us to Summit View. Just the level of commitment that our church body, you know, showed towards that age group, and that's where we landed, you know, when we were out here, and just immediately felt connected and felt pursued. And some of the closest friends that we've ever had have been, you know, since being here at Summit View. And so that was 2005, and then we kind of transitioned into from young marrieds to young as we started having kids, and now it's hard to believe, but we have Emerson will be in the high school group this upcoming year.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, and so we have like the whole spectrum now, and we're kind of venturing into new territory with that.
The wives are over there talking to each other about that. It's momentous.
It is. You know, though,
it's crazy.
I'm so thankful for like this, and you know, there's some adults and hi Emery over there too. You know, here, and I think the level of friendships that we have amongst the adults is fantastic. But then I think, you know, when my kids love going to church, and when we do safety team, and they say, "Hey, Dad, can I come with you?" Yeah, you know, we're like 3 hours early. Yeah, I know, I want to go. You know, and they want to be there. They want to be there. Or, hey, can we stay late? Can we, you know, whatever. I think, that stirs my heart, because there are times where it is easier, I think, to talk myself out of, you know, going like, it's a busy week, whatever. Yeah. And I think, God, you put these people in our life too, and my son right now is the one that says, "Dad, I think we need to go." Like, yeah, you're right, we do. Absolutely right. So that's where we are. I work in healthcare here, and so the past 4 months have just been bananas on our side, and we've seen a lot of good that's come from it, a lot of encouraging things, and a lot of opportunity just to meet people where they are, you know, people that don't necessarily have a hope, and just be able to enter into a world kind of without permission, because we are all in this together. And I think that's maybe been one of the blessings that maybe we'll talk about in a little while too.
Yeah.
I think that's been one of the encouraging things. So that's me. I'd love to get to know you, and I see Adam saying hey, and hey Adam.
Carrie Van Dusen joined.
Hi.
That's awesome. Facebook is interesting because we don't always see who's actually on. So depending on your privacy settings, we may or may not know that you're there. But if we see your name, we'll shout out because we're glad you're here. Let's do. Why don't we do a couple songs? I'd like to do "God of Jacob."
Good one.
Actually, because I think we're all in a season that's, and then maybe "All for Jesus." Actually,
Okay.
You want to do that one right after?
Sure.
I think we're all just in this season of asking a bunch of questions, and I think there's a lot of different things that we could seek in terms of clarity or justice, or there's a lot of things we can do, and there's a lot of programs we can jump into. There's a lot of popular opinion we could just follow along with.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're not seeking God's face in the middle of all of that, there's not gonna be anything good that comes of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we put more trust in the human heart than we should. And we need to look at God and say, God, you know what? I'm going to screw this up if I don't start with you.
Yeah.
So however we proceed, however we move forward, we need to be a generation that seeks God's face. Actually, the line, "O God of Jacob," I'm not sure why Charlie Hall stuck it in this song, but we need to seek your face, O God of Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I don't know the story behind it. But when I think of the God of Jacob, I think of Jacob, who's the deceiver, who's the one who's just the rebel all the time. And I go, oh, that's encouraging. He's a God of that guy.
Right.
That's a good thing.
I know.
So he could probably do something with me too.
Yeah, I know. Well, and it's, all the different characters in the Bible, some I have a hard time finding fault in.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, Jacob, he's a good reminder to me of God's goodness and God's plan. And, there are things that we all do where we feel like we might be distant or might have stepped out of what that plan would be. And no, I've got a plan.
Yep.
It's still going to work. This plan's still going to work.
Well, let's play this song.
Okay.
Hi, Carnies, by the way. That's Karina's account, but maybe it's all of them. Dawson and Sean and Steph.
Wait, where?
Isabel. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Carnies.
Hi. I'm
You get
having
used
a
to
hard
this
time
after a
navigating
while.
what this looks like. But
This is YouTube, that's Facebook.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been doing this for 14 weeks now. So.
No, it's great. It's interesting too. Well, and it's fun too because some of all the songs that Travis and I are playing tonight, and we've played around a little bit because we don't play together very often. But they're older songs that I remember playing years ago or singing years ago. And so even in those moments where I don't have other words or feel overwhelmed by things, I'm like, oh, I don't know why that song came to mind. I think it's a good song, good words.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think it's appropriate. So you're going to lead us on this one.
Okay.
All right.
We bow our hearts, we bend our knees. us clean hands, give us pure hearts. Let us not lift our souls to another. Give us clean hands, give us pure hearts. Let us not lift our souls to another. Oh God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God of Jacob. Oh God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God of Jacob. God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God, Jacob. Oh God, let us be a generation that seeks your face. Oh God, Jacob. Oh God of Jacob. All right. So this next one, it's kind of a new song. It was written in 1871,
That is really new.
isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
But it's a fun song to play. It's called "All for Jesus." And
Tim Schafer. Yes.
wait, what?
Tim Schafer is on.
Tim Schafer from Santa Rosa, California. Hi, Tim.
Gotta do the shout outs. My new strings are going out of tune. You keep talking.
Okay. Well, mine, I have new strings on too. So, all for Jesus, all for Jesus. All my being's ransom powers, all my thoughts and words and doings, all my days and all my hours. And I just love how it kind of takes this progression through, I don't know, I think what I hope my day looks like, the things that kind of distract, and there's 5 verses in it, and so, but they're short. It's fun, and it's fun to play.
They kind of go through everything too.
They do.
My eyes, my thoughts, my words, my doings, my day, wealth, my fame, my everything.
Let them be all for Jesus.
All for Jesus.
All right, so we'll try this, and we'll see how it goes. All for Jesus, all my being's ransom powers, all my thoughts and words and doings, all my days and all my hours. Let my hands perform His bidding, let my feet run in His ways. Let my eyes see Jesus only. Let my lips speak forth His praise. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust Him, how I prove Him more and more.
guitar player.
Oh, thanks. That's fun.
I always love it when we just sort of discover a guitar player. It just sort of happened.
And I think I don't know, we played together for Christmas a few years. I don't know, when we were on small group together. I remember one time we did Christmas down in that room.
We did. That was super fun.
It was fun.
I remember that. So I was just thinking, and we want to get back to some music, but I did take some notes when we were talking. And something you said while we were talking on Saturday really, really hit me, that I think it's really easy for us to get a little bit impatient, like, kind of thought maybe God was going to give me a lesson during this time, would happen by now, but what you said was, don't miss what God has for us in this season. Like, there's been really good things, there's been pros, but there's also been cons. We all know that, we've felt that. But you kind of had this exhortation, like, we kind of expected that maybe God would have something right for us right away, but now we're starting to go like, I want the new normal, or I want normal back again. Yeah. But maybe right now is when we're just starting to get an inkling of an idea of what God's been up to. But I was just thinking about that, like the process that we've been through. You mentioned a few things, like with house church or with ballet lessons on Zoom, that you felt like were pros for the season. Like, as we're thinking about, how we're dealing with everything going on, I've been challenging the church. What has this season made possible for us that wouldn't otherwise be possible? What's God up to? So I wonder if you just share a few of those things with us. You had church for 10 hours last week?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago we had
What's up?
We had some friends over for at 10 o'clock for the service, and we thought, we'll get lunch afterwards, and it was great. And then we went and got lunch and brought it back to our house, and then we just enjoyed each other and being together. And then before we knew it, it was getting close to dinner time, and we thought, you know what? Let's just go get some pizza. Let's do something together. And so I think it ended up being like after 8 o'clock that our friends ended up leaving. And I'm like, oh, already? You're already leaving? But
you got Monday morning with Zoom calls and stuff.
Right. I know. And it's just, there's that side of it, and I think this is our church. Like, this is a time that we may never have again. I mean, I don't know, part of me hopes we don't, for reasons like this, but when I think we may never have a time like this again, when I think about how else could there be a worldwide stay-at-home order? Yeah. I mean, I know God's creative, and there are probably many ways to do that. That's not a challenge. What it is that I think a recognition, like, God, you used something that I think we could have, it could have been quite a bit of despair in that, and you're using it to give us just a glimpse of a different side of what community really looks like, a different side of I think who we are, as friends. How do you stay connected with a friend during this time when you can't have a lot of like physical interaction there?
Yeah.
So what does that look like?
Yeah.
Maybe it's stopping by on your way home from work and you yell at each other through the garage,
like, who's this person yelling at me?
Hey!
I thought I was isolated here.
Right. And maybe it looks like that. But I think there's a lot of opportunity. I've been able to learn ballet from my daughter, and part of that is because I had only seen a recital once. Recital.
That's
performance.
Ballet recitals? I think
recital.
So. I'm not up on ballet.
I think I'm using the right term.
You should be better at this now.
Right, I know. Well, I said it, and then I second guessed myself, and I thought, oh, it's not a recital, but it is. I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah, the concert.
They're not singing; they're dancing.
We're at the ballet concert performance.
The ballet dance.
And now we're doing it in our living room. And so
she was.
In those moments, I think there couldn't be anything better.
Yeah.
Right now. So from long church services and house church to even just the joy of being together again to a degree. With the distancing and trying to be respectful of where other people feel and where we feel and what that footprint actually looks like. I think there's joy that's coming from this. There's opportunity that's coming from this, Yeah.
Don't miss it. I
don't
think is
miss
the
it.
idea, right?
Just don't miss
miss it.
Because it's sitting right in front of us.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot, even from conversations with coworkers, people, you know, that I know aren't believers, that come in, you know, with heightened anxiety one day. I think, you know, this is one moment where I can hopefully have the calm and have the wisdom to not like elevate to that level of anxiety that they might be at in that moment, but to bring a different perspective and just say, you know, there's hope beyond this. You know, this isn't the end. You know, for us, there's opportunity here, and I don't know. I think there's those things that just keep kind of spurring me on, and I hope we all, you know, can see that opportunity in our own life and in our own circle to say, you know what, this is. There is a lining here that's silver, and there's sweetness to it too. You know, I think about, you know, the saying that everything is bittersweet. You know, there's with every bitter, there's sweetness to it too. And I think, you know, when I hear the howlers out on our street, and you know, just walking out and you see neighbors, it's like giant snowstorms, you know, and we've had those where we look out and look up and down our street and we see people out shoveling each other's driveways. And I think, oh God, what a beauty here to see that. You know, thank you for this incredible amount of snow, and thank you that one person on our cul-de-sac has a snowblower, because we're all out just shoveling for everybody else. And I think, oh God, in the beauty of that storm and in the exhaustion of what it takes to make it through it, there's something there that we don't want to miss. Yeah.
Snowstorms are one of my favorite things. That and power outages.
Oh.
When it's dark, you walk outside, like the power goes out. You're all out in the street. Everybody's out. Is your power out too? Like,
yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about hail?
Depends on my insurance.
Okay. I don't
whether
like
or not my garden is growing. Yeah, I don't know. I like it a lot if I prep for it and my car's in the garage.
Yeah, I'm trying to find silver lining. Trying to find silver lining in hail.
Right. Yeah. Insurance payouts.
Right. Yeah, I know. I have a friend that does paintless dent repair, and I think, all right, well, this is an answer to his prayer.
He's praying for hail. It's his silver lining. Oh, man.
Yeah, it is.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is my friend Elijah. We're playing some music tonight. We're also talking a little bit. We're talking about casting our cares on the Lord. And in this season, there's a lot of cares. There's a lot of worries. There's a lot of just stuff. And you work in healthcare. You have patients come in, and you've seen an increase probably in. You were telling me the other day, people coming in having attempted suicide, anxiety. Just expand on that just a little bit, if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah. You know, like I'm sure we all have interactions with people, whether they be neighbors, coworkers, family members, that the hope is not there. You know, there's just this hopelessness of what's next, or fear, or and I think people act out in different ways, and I think that's one of the challenges and one of the sad things is seeing you know, some suicide attempts and that sort of thing, or you know, people in with depression, like serious depression, because of this high anxiety that causes, you know, them to need to be hospitalized. You know, alcoholism as well. I mean, you know, sometimes we hear people. I think I told you, like, oh yeah, someone, they said they didn't know what else to do. They were just kind of bored, and so they drank, you know, to the point of landing in the hospital. And I think there's just a potential for a lot of hopelessness out there.
Yeah.
And so I guess challenge. That's been one of my challenges and one of my prayers, even as I'm going to work, driving to work, walking in from the parking lot, just trying to pray for the people that I would be interacting with that day. You know, whether they be patients that maybe are in the hospital for an extended period of time, or you know, somebody that might be you know, a coworker that comes in, and not all the situations for staying at home and being at home are good situations, and I realize that as well. You know, there's people that are stressed by homeschooling their kids and they're not accustomed to it, or what childcare looks like. And I think just we learn a lot if we take the time to listen, and I think that's one of those lessons that I'm trying to learn a bit more. And I think I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the CEO of McDonald's, and he said the two best qualities that he's aware of in like a CEO is the ability to listen and assume the best motives in others. And I think people are coming at us, and even if there's a thought on mask wearing or something like that, or whatever situation is going on in our world right now,
allowed himself to be killed there.
Yeah.
And I'll just go on record to say I'm not a pacifist, but because we could tend one way or another there. But one of the realities there is that because of what he did on the cross, I don't have to rise to a defense. And so I was thinking about what I was sharing earlier in 1 Peter 5, and just the idea where he's talking to pastors there who are shepherds, and there's a lot of uncertainty for pastors in this time. And we're on live stream, so I kind of remind people of where we've been, because they probably weren't watching then, and they're watching now for the 20-minute segment that they're in.
Thanks for not saying that. You were reminding me of what you told me earlier.
Yeah, I know. I have to remind myself of this too.
Okay.
But
you said that earlier?
This is a new world of digital. Some people watch the whole thing, and we're really grateful for you guys, but some people watch for like 5 minutes and move on. If they catch something, I want to keep reminding us. But I was talking about how pastors ought to shepherd and ought to humbly lead in hard situations in the church. And he said there's a chief shepherd, and that chief shepherd is Jesus. And ultimately, we can humbly basically give over control to him. Because in verse 7 it says, cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. And that's really where I've been trying to sit. Because there's been times I'll get an email and be like, okay, that's the opposite thought of what I was just thinking. Okay, swing my perspective a little bit. Try not to get mad, try not to get anxious, try not to just call stalemate and take no action, because that might be bad too. All right, God, I'm feeling this anxiety. Why don't you just here it is. And then I send an email back, or I make a phone call, or I meet someone and have a conversation, and it completely changes the conversation. So what we're talking about, like, give it over to God, and then you're able to enter into a conversation who may be antagonistic with someone who may be antagonistic, or someone who may have an opposite opinion. I've seen people like getting in fights over whether they should or should not wear a mask, and there's like baggage load of philosophy and thoughts and ideals and everything else that they bring to this conversation. It's like, you two people can't probably figure this out for the rest of the world right now, so you might as well just love each other. How does that look?
Yeah. Well, and looking,
that's hard.
Looking deeper than that, like what is that showing? Like, truly, if we are having arguments to that level over that, like, what's there's something deeper, than that. What is it? Is it is it a lack of trust? Is it a heightened fear? What's leading to the point where we can have those arguments and not, and I think, like, love your neighbor as yourself. Like, truly, in that moment, even if you have a vastly different view, like, am I loving my neighbor as myself? Not with any sort of ulterior motive, any sort of agenda behind it.
Yeah.
Like, you love your neighbor. Love like Jesus.
Love like Jesus.
Love like Jesus.
Wear the shirt. Gotta wear the shirt.
That's a fantastic shirt. That's right. But how do we do that? Like, I think we have a heart that's shaped. That God just shapes through experience, through time, through, hey, look, you just did your open up your shirt on the Facebook feed.
You're watching the delay.
I know.
You're not supposed to watch yourself on video.
I shouldn't have looked there. It was covered up. But
well, how about we play a few more songs?
Let's do it.
There's a lot of great songs we could pick from here, but
you put your capo on the 3rd fret, so I'm just matching you.
Yeah, I was thinking about Lord, You Have My Heart. Maybe we do 3 in a row. How about that?
Yeah.
What? 3 in a row? We might even do 4 in a row, because I kind of like that one too. What if we did Lord, You Have My Heart,
big enough.
And then It Is Well? And then
you should have got a 17-inch
I know.
screen, and then
then we can move it over. Yep. Those are the thing of the past. People don't like screens that big.
I know. I guess didn't they just come out with a 16? Like the 15
there's a 16.
Like 16?
Yeah. Yep. Anyway. This is actually a song. Elijah, and I hadn't actually heard or thought about the song since, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe.
Since probably 1992/93 when it was written.
But I used to play this song all the time. This was one of my favorite. Like, I'd have my sort of token ballads to bring people into, and the quiet parts of the worship nights and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So as Lord, you have my heart. Have my heart, and I will search for yours. Jesus, take my life and lead me on. Lord, you have my heart, I will search for yours. Let me be to you a sacrifice. I will praise you, Lord. I will sing of love come down. Show your face, we'll see your glory. Lord, you have my heart, I will search for yours. Jesus, take my life, lead me on. Oh, Lord, you have my heart, and I will search for yours. Let me be to you a sacrifice. Show your face, we'll see your glory. I'll praise you. I will praise you, Lord. I will sing of love come down. As you show your face, we'll see your glory. We'll see your glory. We'll see your glory.
It's a good song.
It is well.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you're leading this one.
Okay. I think we're in the right key. Oh, don't play the chords as written.
No, don't. Hi, Katie Paulding. When peace girl shelter me.
Oh yeah.
So one of the tough things about COVID season, just kidding, it's not that tough of a thing. Apparently they shut down the guitar string making factories. So I went to go buy my favorite guitar strings and they didn't have them. So
It's a sad day.
These are a lot thicker than I'm used to, and I was already playing thick strings.
And they're actually electric. No, they're not electric guitar strings.
No, those would be a lot thinner. It'd be like playing spaghetti.
Nylon strings.
Yeah, no, these are definitely bronze. Yeah, they're pulling my guitar neck a little forward, and so that's my disclaimer for this song.
I feel like I have more disclaimers for this song. So when we were looking at these, so my fingers are kind of sore, and I was gonna take ibuprofen before I came, and I forgot. But
Elijah, drugs are not the answer.
You know, though, they cover a lot of things right now. But
Finger inflammation.
They do. I mean, there's little calluses
you got little grooves
beginning.
there.
I do, and I bet you have fewer grooves.
That's
Yeah, I see. But he said, "Hey Travis, do you want to do Shelter Me? It'll push me a little bit." So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
For doing that. I wasn't gonna tell you that the strings I had on the guitar were maybe 9 months old. I know you saw the fuzzies on it, and
I did. I called them out.
so these
So
are these.
Elijah, you should change your strings before Tuesday.
So these do not have fuzzies on them.
That's good.
So
Everybody's like, enough with the guitar talk. Just play a song.
okay, so this will be your strings that are new to you with different action, and
Yeah.
me kind of riding your coattails.
Shelter us, Lord. Well, the last time I played this song in public, I totally botched it. So
All right.
I've got to redeem it.
Okay. All right. You want me to set this one out?
No. The earth can shake, the sky come down, the mountains all fall to the ground. But I will fear none of these things. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Dark waters rise and thunder pounds. The wheels of war are going round, and all the walls are crumbling. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Hide me underneath your wings. Hide me deep inside your heart. In your refuge, cover me. The world can shake, but Lord, I'm making you my hiding place. The wind can blow, the rain can pour, the deluge breaks, the tempest roars. But in the storm, my spirit sings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings. Shelter me, Lord, underneath your wings.
Nice.
That was fun. Let's do this one too. How about that? Well, if you're just joining us, welcome Leah Mills, Katie Paulding. I think I saw an Aaron Ritter pop in at some point.
That was a big gulp.
Ah, big gulp of water.
Yeah.
Big gulps, huh?
Hey, see you later.
Well, see you later. Movie quotes from the 90s.
Excuse me. So have you heard of Caedmon's Call?
Have I heard of them? I bought their first album when it first came out. I listened to the whole thing once, and it went on a shelf, and I went back to my Metallica album, and decided it wasn't for
All right,
me.
that's enough.
I'm sorry.
Immediately moving on.
I'm sorry.
Stop, Jesus, stop.
Am I ruining it? Like my Metallica repertoire. We could do.
It's. Oh yeah, we were messing around with that too.
Anyway. We both have this weird, crazy long repertoire of 90s songs.
Mm-hmm.
So Caedmon's Call.
Let's-
Just because there are a few things I haven't appreciated doesn't mean I don't appreciate what they've created over the years.
Right. So this song, "Carry Your Love," was in the Company of Angels. It's a very good compilation of songs. It's not an album, I guess. Direct to disc. But this song, when I was in college, I went to a Christian college, and this song was the theme song for it was the weekend where high school students would come and spend nights in the dorms, sort of thing. So this was the song that we did there, and it's a good
Preview
song.
is what they call that, right?
Preview. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one had a weird name. Preview. That's the same idea.
Christians, they name
Right.
things with usually acronyms. Actually,
Yeah.
Christians are fond of acronyms.
Right. Christians are fond of acronyms.
Yeah, they spell something and then it's
CAF.
like 15 different words. Anyway,
Yeah, so this was Carry Your Love. And it's good. It's a good one. Even if you have to plug your nose while you're playing it.
I actually, honestly, I actually don't.
Okay.
I actually don't. I have a wide appreciation of music.
Okay.
They
All
were
right.
never a style of music that really locked in with me.
That's fair.
Song is just how we are led by God. Ultimately, we are led by Him, and it's not just we're intellectually led. We're led by the truth. But what I like about this one is we're led by the Spirit. Jesus' blood, the power of that ultimately is the fact that because we've been cleansed, we now have the opportunity to have the Holy Spirit living in us. And there's just so much that comes from that. And so as the church moves forward, it's not just because we have all the right answers or the right disciplines or the right, all that stuff. It's because God, the person God, resides in us. And that's where our power is. And ultimately, that's how our love can be displayed. So anyway, that's what I get out of this song.
You're wearing the shirt that goes right along with the song.
I know.
I didn't pick your clothes today. So.
No, but we're carrying His love, and it's the Spirit of God in us, expressed through us. We are hands, feet, mouths, etc., displaying God's love. We're carrying His love.
Well, thanks for entering into my world.
Loving
for a
like
moment,
Jesus.
too. You are. Absolutely,
Okay.
and it's
This is
just
my
making
shirt.
my heart happy.
All right, let's.
We are called out, we are ransomed. We are not of the world, when you go to, you're about to end the song and then you miss a string and you're like, oh, don't end it there.
Well, it's better than you're about to end a song and then you break a string.
That is true.
I haven't broken a string in a while, but...
Well, that's good. You got fresh strings on there.
That's right.
You won't break those.
Yeah. How about, we'll do a few more. Let's see. We got 3 left for you guys tonight. Maybe just play out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Is this a good order? Should we switch it around?
I like it. You're talking this one,
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. One of the things that I wrote, just a couple notes too, you know, some, I think, good reminders for me every day. You know, Proverbs 17:22 says, "A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones."
Yeah. Oh.
And when I think about, like, all right, working in healthcare, medicine, you know, is good. I'm like, I can bring a joyful heart anywhere I go. You don't have to be a doctor to bring a joyful heart and bring medicine to somebody.
Yeah.
God, help me to be that joyful heart. And then just reminders too, like 1 Thessalonians 5:11, therefore encourage and build one another up, just as you are already doing.
Yeah.
I think this is what we need to do. This is our body. This is a time, I think, where we shine. You know, uniting together, showing grace to others, because none of us have all the answers. I mean, I think most of us have more questions than anything right now, but we don't have answers, very many of them anyway. But encourage one another and build each other up.
Yeah.
I think, what does that look like, you know, for us? It looks like, you know, stopping by. It looks like a quick text message. It looks like, you know, dinner. There's so many things that it looks like, and it can be simple. It can be extravagant, but encourage one another.
So you all know, if I showed you my texts, my phone from Elijah, he sends random texts of encouragement. What would we be like as a people if we were actually doing that? We get so caught up in ourselves, and all the strong body and the weak spirit, and there's so many different proverbs about that interaction between our physical selves and our spiritual selves.
Mm-hmm.
And man, we can bring in just angst and pain to people.
Mm-hmm.
And we can just encourage.
Mm-hmm.
We can encourage each other. And I just have to stop and ask, like, why don't we? Why don't we do that? And you know, honestly, I just confess, for me, it's because when I see someone say something, maybe it's on social media, or you know, make a big statement about something, and I disagree with it, or I feel like they had the wrong tone, or whatever. It's like my first reaction is, I want to correct that. I want to stand up for my position. I need to be an advocate now, and so I'm going to come back at them, and it just doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there's anything that's disturbing me at this point, like, I'm disturbed by everything that's going on around with the actual virus, with people actually getting sick. I'm disturbed about the state of politics. I'm disturbed about, you know, just all the conversation around race. You know, and what disturbs me even more is just how people are unwilling to see each other's hearts through the middle of it. That we're all created in the image of God.
Yeah.
And we can be such an encouragement to one another.
Yeah. There's a saying too that people don't remember, or they probably won't remember what you say, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, that's encouraging, because we don't have to have those right words, but even just being a listener, I think is good.
Yeah.
Like, just listen.
And it's so gospel-centered too. I'm looking at these lyrics we're about to sing. How deep the Father's love for us, that he would give his only Son to make a wretch his treasure. A wretch. So when I say someone that disagrees with me, or is doing something I don't like, or whatever else it is, can I have that heart toward them? Same that my Father had towards me. If if he didn't have that heart towards me while I was his enemy, there's no hope for me. And the church has the message of hope for the world. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Are we a message of hope? Are we hoping to make other wretches his treasure too?
Right.
Or are we just wanting to put them down because they're wretches? Thank the Lord. As wounds which mar the truth, behold the man upon a cross, my guilt upon his shoulders, ashamed I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers. It was my sin that held him there till it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished. I will not boast. I will not boast in anything. No gifts, no powers, no wisdom. But I will boast in Jesus Christ, his death and resurrection. Why should I gain from his reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: his wounds have paid my ransom. Why should I gain? Why should I gain from his reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: his wounds have paid my ransom. You gonna lead this one?
I'd be happy to.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do it. Let's see. In the morning when I rise, in the morning when I rise,
got one more for you. Shortcut capo K&D. Yeah.
Well, it was relative to the capo. Does that work for you?
That's E. That's fine. Well,
So
everyone, we're just we're glad that you joined us tonight, and for all those who stuck with the whole night, we hope it was a blessing. I just wanted to just reaffirm that when we have anxiety, when we have cares, 1 Peter 5:7 says we're supposed to cast those anxieties on God because He cares for us. Just think of anything else that I could cast my anxieties on, whether it's my own ability to get something done, or food, or alcohol, or my friends. Ultimately, the only thing that truly can satisfy my soul is the care and love of God, because He cares for me.
Be my light.
Everybody. Well, glad you joined us tonight. Hope you guys have a good rest of the night into tomorrow and Thursday. Friday night, we're going to live stream from the church. It'll be a full band worship set. I'll be playing, a couple other people, so don't miss that. 7 p.m. on Friday. And then 10:30 is our live stream sermon on Sunday morning. If you're not part of a house church here in Fort Collins, you can go to someofyou.com/join. And you can jump right into one of our house churches. You can do that virtually via Zoom if you're still social distancing. You can come together with some smaller groups of people, and we'd love to have you join us if you're interested in that. But yeah, we'll see you later. I've got to walk towards the camera because I've got to go back there